Hello everybody, how are you? I hope you're doing well. It's getting dark. I've got lights all around me. I got some real candles burning, and I got soaking wet because at the very last minute, I'm puppy sitting our little grandpuppy. And anyway, I sat down. She said I need to go out. Thanks for being here, you guys. I hope you're doing really well. I just wanted to finally, let me get up on the seat here. Finally, get in front of this camera, or my iPhone actually, and say what's going on for Christmas. And I wanted to share a few things with you guys. Okay, well, you know what? This is a tough time of year for a lot of you. I know that. And I've had really tough Christmases as well. And everybody's tough is going to be very different because we have different players in the game, and our circumstances for each and every one of us is going to be very, very different. So when I'm speaking, I'm probably speaking more about how I navigated some of these moments in my life, and I'm hoping that sharing them with you might give you a little bit of support if you're going through this time and with a really heavy heart, or maybe you're hurt, or maybe you're angry. So let's just see if I can help you with that, because it's not, Christmas isn't the same for everybody. All right, well, I did a video, I'm trying to think how long ago I did this video, but where I said, love your children more than you hate your ex. This is a really good place to start, because I know when I look around, at 73, I've mellowed. A lot of people in my life that I struggled with have changed. They've mellowed as well. But I know when I look at a lot of the younger women, they're in a place where I was, and I just want you to remember this. And I know how difficult it can be that you have a moment where you feel like you're being slighted or left out, or maybe not that considered, or maybe you're saying, you are kidding me, right? You're inviting him with her, or you're inviting him? Are the guys feeling excluded? You're inviting her? I know, it's nothing to laugh about, because when you're in it, it's like friggin' devastating. Okay, so you know what? This is what got me through a lot of it. And I really, really hope that you will pull this little note out of your pocket, pull it out of the bag, no matter how difficult the situation may be, but you're going to a Christmas event and one of your exes is there. Keep saying to yourself, I love my children more than I hate my ex. Just keep saying it. And you know what? It'll put you in a really good place, because it's not about them, okay? It's about your kids, and it's about your grandchildren. And put yourself above it. And I'm telling you, when you put yourself above it and go in as the fabulous, beautiful, gorgeous woman you are, and the mom of these children, it's going to make you feel really, really good. Because you know what? Your children are your children are your children, and they'll always be your grandchildren. And I know it's really tough sometimes when your ex walks in, and everybody tries to position themselves. Ignore it. Ignore it all. These are your children. These are your grandchildren, and you love your children more than you hate your ex or dislike your ex. I really don't like the word hate, actually. Dislike your ex. And just remember, you know what? When you get to the point where I am at 73, it's just, you can just mellow out and say, hey, you know what? You know who you are, and I know who I am, and I can speak my truth. So let it go. Just go and enjoy yourself. I know, make a note. If you're struggling with it, you're going, that's easy for you to say. Promise me you'll make a note, and you'll pull it out when you're ready to think you're going to say something you shouldn't say. I love my children more than I hate my ex. I love my grandchildren way more than I love my children or my ex, okay? So on a positive note, I try to go positive. All right, so now this one's a little bit more serious and it can be a little bit heavier, but I really hope that you'll just kind of be aware. Now, at 73, I'm really, really fortunate. Bill's 80, I'm 73. We're very fortunate to have our children around. We have the most incredible kids. You know, my kids, I don't know, I think they absolutely do cartwheels to make sure that we're not alone and that things happen for us. And I really appreciate it, because it used to be Bill and I that used to do all the big Christmases and so forth, and I loved it. And it's a huge transition when you have to give that up. And so I'm very, very fortunate. But, you know, like there was a time in my life in between, you know, when my first marriage ended, before I had my second marriage, where I was alone, and it was really, 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 really tough. You know, you're all of a sudden doing like Christmas a week before, trying to navigate it. And so I had moments where I was feeling alone. But as I watch my friends that are aging, that are older, like myself, that are by themselves, it's really, I see a lot of my friends that are alone isolate themselves completely for many various reasons. Some reasons is their children just don't incorporate them into their festivities, which I understand. I understand somewhat, because I mean, sometimes, you know, when you're in your 50s or even in your 40s, you're having a party, you want your friend, you know, maybe not want your mom there. Like, you don't want people to have to wash their P's and Q's and so forth with your mom there. You don't want your mom saying, oh, you got this, or, you know, I get that. But maybe as we get closer to Christmas, we can just maybe take a moment to be thoughtful if you have a parent that is alone. And of course, it's different. Some are home alone by themselves. Some are living in assisted living. Some of them are in, you know, the next step up where they've got health issues. So they're in a facility where their safety and health is a priority. But you know what? Take some time out to do something for them. Now, this one I really love. I'm looking at the time, you guys. This one I really love. Just some ideas if for somebody, and then maybe it's not a parent. Maybe you've got somebody that's, you know, aging that you just really care about. You want to make sure that they're not feeling alone. And this one is so cool. A friend of mine in Alberta did this. She's got a brother that has Down syndrome, and he just loves receiving mail. And I can't remember if it was Christmas or his birthday. But she put a call out to all her friends and said, look, he really loves getting mail. Can you guys, you know, and she gave us the address. Could you guys send him, I'm going to say Christmas card. Can you guys send him a Christmas card? And I don't know how many got, I know I did. And I just thought that was so cool. So if you know somebody that's by themselves and they're feeling quite isolated, you know what? Maybe ask your friends, you know, get their address, like not strangers, people you know, okay, before you give anybody's address out. But you know what? And you say, you know what? Could you just take 10 minutes out of your day and send a Christmas card to her or to Sally or maybe it's your dad, you know. But I'm talking more about the women right now. I've got a lot more women friends that are on their own. And ask them to send a Christmas card. I mean, how cool is that? And you, if this is your mom or your aunt or, you know, a much older sister, put some pictures in it. I'm not talking about a family portrait. I'm talking about take your iPhone to Walgreens. I used to go to Walgreens in the US, and in Canada, I go to London Drugs, and I take about, oh my gosh, it's like dirt cheap, and it's so easy to do. They have a machine, a screen there. You just pick the ones you want, and you can pick the pictures up like in no time at all. Put those in a card. I mean, do you know how that can change somebody's like day or even a week? And you know, when we get older, we're silly, right? We put them all out and we're so proud and we brag about it. So maybe do that. The other thing is, which is probably going to cost a little bit more money, but if you have the means to do it, send a Christmas centerpiece to them. Tell them you love them. Tell them you're thinking of them. It's just like reach out and touch someone. You know, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Now, what I'm doing, I live in a condo, and I've talked to a couple of the ladies here. Now, two of the ladies that I've spoken to, they both have husbands like I have, but they are in the same situation as me. In fact, I think they're off a little, things a little tougher for them. Have husbands that aren't really well. And I know a lot of us don't like to drive at night. I'm okay driving at night. Bill doesn't like to drive at night. So I'm reaching out to a couple of the ladies, more than a couple, and said, why don't you guys come over to my place and we'll do a tea and a glass of wine, or a shooter if you'd like one. And we can just spend the afternoon together. And it's just a little something. And I know there's a few people in here that are going to be alone, and it's something for them to look forward to. You know, I'm going to do it 2 days before Christmas, so it gets closer to the Christmas season. And it's just a way, you know, it's like I say, chew the fat. It's like, have a great conversation. I got my place decorated, you can see. And oh my gosh, I got to show you guys this. I will be pouring tea out of my beautiful tea kettle. Actually, I boil the water in it and I make my tea. Look at this, you guys. Isn't that pretty? I won that actually. A really good friend of mine, Kathleen, and I'm going to put her channel down below. Go and visit her. She's got the most incredible, she does designs, and oh my gosh, it's just over the top. It's all very high end, and she does the most incredible giveaways. And I was lucky enough to get this beautiful kettle, Mackenzie Chill kettle, and I never had one before, so here it is. Okay, so, you know, like, make sure you reach out. The other thing that I've done, which is, I know that I said, what, really? Is that I've got all this wool, and my daughter had a whole bunch of wool, and it's a bag of wool that we've tossed back and forth for probably 10 years because we're going to do a project. I finally have brought it over to the senior center. I don't know if you remember, I joined the senior center about 6-7 months ago, which is incredible. It's just really, really great. You know, if you want to get out and participate and do something, you know, it's there for you. And so I brought the wool there, and I asked one of the gals there to please give it to somebody who's on her own and may not have the means to buy wool. Because you know what a great, I mean, they love to do it. What a great pastime. And me giving the wool might keep that person busy and engaged. And I just put a little card with it and saying, it's just my way of saying, hope you have a Merry Christmas. And so put it on a basket. I don't know who she's going to give it to, but hopefully she'll give it to somebody that really wants it. So, you know, like, use your imagination, like, do something. But if you, I got to share this for a second. My ex-mother-in-law, who's Scandinavian, I told you guys she passed away in March 2020, and I would go to her. She was in a they were basically lockdown facility, and I would call close to Christmas. I would call and just let them know I was going to come. I'd be having lunch with her, and then I would bring her 2 favorite dishes at Christmas. And she was on a ward where people had Alzheimer's, but dementia, but she was not in the right place. And so it was really sad for her that she wasn't in the right place. But it was wonderful because you could always have a conversation with her. And I would bring her favorite beet salad with herring, which my kids will go, oh, mom's making it, mom's making it. But you know what? It's the memory. It's going to be on the table. It's like, you know, when you lose a loved one and you say, there's always going to be a seat at the table for that person that's not physically here, but they're here in spirit and your heart and your soul. Okay, so that's what that dish is like. And then I would make lutefisk, which is a very Scandinavian dish, which is eaten on Christmas Eve with potatoes and the white sauce. And so I would get that. And so I think 4 times out of the times that she was there, I went and brought that for lunch, and she just loved it. Now, if you have the time to do that, I know if you're younger and you've got kids, things can get really busy and crazy, but just remember, you may one day be there too. So when we do these things, you're setting a precedence, right? And you just go, that's a really nice way to remember somebody. And I do one more thing to remember somebody, and I want to share. Here we go. All right, see that? That is my mother-in-law's stole. I mean, it was a thing. I know we don't do that anymore, but there are still a lot of mink stoles around. I could never part with this because I can just imagine how my mother-in-law would have felt going to those big bank functions wearing her mink stole. I do have one piece of fur that I've made a pillow out of, but this, I'm going to keep it as it is, and I use it as my tree skirt. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So I love having things out of the people that are no longer here with us in the physical sense, because, you know, I'm a very spiritual person, and I believe that we all live to eternity. So eternity is forever, and that our spirits never leave the ones that they love. And so I love having this under my tree, and it looks totally decadent, and it looks so good. And I'm sure she's probably going, under the Christmas tree? Are you kidding me? But I don't, I think when she passed away, she knew that wasn't the thing to wear anymore. Anyway, I wanted to share that. So you know what? Don't forget about the older people, the aging people in your life. And I know it's going to be different, because I know I also have friends that are bitter and angry, and they're just never going to come out of that place. And you know what? It's not up to you to fix them. It really isn't. So, you know, some people are just going to do what they have to do. But, you know, it's like I say, we have a choice. Are we going to do it well, or are we just going to say, blah, and I'm going to do it well? I choose to do it well. And you can too. It's all in here, right? It's a mindset. Love you guys. Talk to you later. And remember, there is no future in our past. So let's go. See you soon. Bye.